Alright guys, I know I'm a couple days late on this, but I think it's time to talk about the PlayStation 5. Now, I want to preface this whole thing by saying that I don't know which obviously next gen, which console I would get between the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to get either one because we don't know how much they cost yet, and it may be better for me to actually update the GPU in my gaming PC. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So I have no real bias here. Also, I want to mention that I'm doing this sort of off the cuff, so there's probably going to be a bunch of jump cuts, kind of like the last video I did. Because I'm not very good at this. Maybe I'll get better one day. Anyway, let's get into it. So first, the look of the PlayStation 5 console. Yeah, ain't that sexy? That turns me on. Oh yeah. Okay, honestly, the look of the console has been getting some mixed responses because of the sleek, futuristic look it has to it. Sony has come out and said that they want it to look good in people's living room. So it really depends on what kind of style and decor you have in your living room. I mean, if it's kind of old and rustic, it's not going to look very good because it's too futuristic looking. Now, if you have a modern setup, modern colors, white baseboard trim and all of that stuff, then it's probably going to look okay. It can stand vertical or it can be horizontal. But the other thing you need to know is that this is one of the largest mass-wise, not necessarily mass, but space-wise consoles that has ever been released. If you take a look at this picture that somebody figured out, here it is. As you can see, they took the disk drive, size of the disk drive, size of the USB port to compare to the other size of consoles, and guess what? This one is pretty big. Probably the biggest one that's ever been released. I know the original Xbox was pretty big, but I think this one's going to take up more space. Now, personally, I'm okay with the size of the console and the look of the console because number one, I don't really care that much. Number two, our house is somewhat modern. There's rustic and modern things kind of blended, so it's sort of a Frankenstein. I am really going to be editing this video a lot. Holy crap. Also, you probably noticed that it comes with a disk drive, and then there's a version that does not have a disk drive, the all digital. Now, I'm not sure how to go about saying this. I think what Rich at Review Tech USA has mentioned that if the price difference between the disk drive version and the digital version is $100 or more, then that's going to make a big difference, because if people can save $100, they're probably going to get the digital one, since it's not that big a deal to have your games mostly digital these days, especially with PC gamers like myself. Almost every game we have is on Steam or Epic or wherever, some sort of online distribution game launcher. So I think it really depends on what you're used to doing, but price is going to be a factor. Okay, so now let's talk about the games. Look, this is probably just me because I'm really exhausted with most video games these days. Not that I don't like streaming. Streaming is fine. I mean, that's like 1 or 2 hours a night. It's no big deal. But as far as like really getting in and getting into the nitty gritty of a game, like I did when I played Skyrim for the first time, or Red Dead Redemption, or Fishing Resort, I can't really do that right now just because of I don't know. It's the way my head is right now. I'm not saying that I'm in a bad place. It's just I'm in a place where I'm just not hyped for anything at the moment. So as you can imagine, all of these games that were shown off, I was just like, oh, whatever. Ratchet and Clank looked good. Resident Evil 8 looked good. Okay, so obviously I'm not that hyped about a lot of the games that were shown. A lot of them looked kind of artsy to me and just really out there, and I don't go for that stuff. That's not for me. So more than likely, if I am a PlayStation 5 early adopter, I will probably not going to have that many games for it. Oh, and guess what? We get to buy Grand Theft Auto for a 4th time. Holy crap. They have milked this game completely dry. And just when we thought that the udders were empty, they go back again. They find a whole nother cow to milk. I mean, all right, I get it. The online portion of the game is probably still going strong, but at least this time they're expanding probably on the single player experience. But the graphics didn't look any better. I mean, how much more can they do with this game? Why? I guess it probably cost them less money to do this than it does to be working on GTA 6. Although they're probably working on GTA 6. They probably have so many people working on Grand Theft Auto 5 still. And then also a boatload of people working on GTA 6. I mean, it's Rockstar. They've got to have heck knows how many people working on stuff in there. So it's probably in development. Also, I guess I'm somewhat looking forward to Horizon Forbidden West. Although I still haven't finished Zero Dawn. I'm really behind. My backlog is just like... So, okay, let's talk about the price. We don't know the price. We don't know the price of the Series X either. It's not common for us to know the prices of the new consoles at this point in the summer. Usually we won't know until July. But like others have been saying, it's pretty apparent that Microsoft and Sony are trying to see who shows their hand first. But I can tell you what I have been seeing people say. People are saying, "Whoa, we can't spend $700 or $600 on a new console this gen." Well, that's fine. If you don't want to spend that much money, here's the thing. I want to make sure I get this right. So, most of the time with technology, you get what you pay for. The reason that last gen, the PS4 and eventually the Xbox One, were so, cheap relative to inflation is that the hardware just wasn't very good. The CPUs were garbage. I've said it before. They were so that is a big reason why they were able to be cheap. Also, they didn't have very much storage either. So that also brought down the price. Now we have these next gen consoles are a lot closer to what a high-end PC today, not necessarily 6 months from now, but today, that's what they're pretty much built like. And you think it's only going to cost $400 for that? Now, if you don't want to pay that much, if you don't want to pay $600-700, that's fine, but you're going to be stuck on last gen because that's what it costs to make a console that good. It costs more money. I mean, we're talking about to make an equivalent PC. It's been said by multiple other YouTubers, far more popular and well-known than me, that it costs $1,200 to perhaps $1,500 to build a comparable PC to the Xbox Series X, maybe a little bit less for the PlayStation 5. And we're complaining because we're speculating that it might cost half of that. Really? So look, if you can't afford it, fine. You can't afford it. You stay on last gen. Sorry, that's how it goes. That may even be the case for me because I don't have a budget for anything I do. here or with my games or whatever. It's just sort of like, hey, can I go buy this? And, you know, we look at the bank account, you know, and we're like, well, yes or no, you know. Usually it's no. I don't think, I'm trying to think, the only consoles I've just gone out and bought outright were probably Nintendo consoles, just because my wife is a little bit less against Nintendo than she is everything else that I do with games, so maybe she'll come around one day. So, okay, that's all I have on the PlayStation 5. Everybody have a good one, and stay safe.